Good evening out there, everybody. Alan D9J Sports. We're right back at it with another show. We've got a good one lined up for you tonight. We're going to be talking about those Jasper Bulldogs and what to expect in their 2025 season. Oh, it's right upon us, ladies and gentlemen. They got one more week, and then it's going to be time to play some football in the 409. So let's jump right into this thing. So, Friday night I went out to the Jasper Bulldogs Stadium. I call it the Big House. And of course, most of the teams around town, around the 409 were scrimmaging and stuff. And I went out there and checked out the Bulldogs just to get a glimpse for myself to see what would happen. Of course, most of you out there know I train one of the kids. And I'm here to tell you, we're going to break down what I've seen and what I think that you should expect from the 2025 Jasper Bulldogs. Well, let's start off with the junior varsity. The junior varsity, they look pretty good. Most of the kids that play on the junior varsity, I know those kids. They played 8th grade ball last year, and they had a pretty good win. But on junior varsity, it's really kind of hard to like disseminate what's really going on, even though the kids know what's happening. I think that they're really still in a developmental stage, almost out of developmental stage, but they're still at some point in a developmental stage. Now, Trevor Beatty, one of the varsity quarterbacks, actually played with him, and I think that some of the things that I noticed right there was his speed and his stuff was a little bit too fast for some of the kids on our offense, and those are some things that we probably can look forward to as far as their growth and maturity as young players. But I know what you want to talk about. You want to hear about what I think about the 2025 varsity Jasper Bulldogs. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the very first thing I notice is we have a small team. We have a really small team. We don't have the kids that we used to have as far as size. Now, we've got a couple of pretty good sized kids, but overall, it's not what you would think that we used to have in this 4A football in this area, especially if you're an older person like me, when you're used to having, a plethora of athletes out there that was big, and so we don't have that. Now, we've got a little bit, what I consider to be a little bit of speed. I know we've got the Armstrong kid. He's pretty fast. I think he went to the Junior Olympics, but on football field that doesn't really matter. But I think that overall we've got some pretty good backs. I know we've got some pretty good backs that we're going to be able to hand the football off to, and then still the quarterback position is still up there between Major Armstrong and Trevor Beatty. I think that Major Armstrong they're going to have him. He's was the starters with them, but he's a smaller stature kid. And I don't want to take anything away from the kid because I think he's a hell of an athlete. And then of course Trevor Beatty is putting the pressure on. He's a prototypical type. What you see, he's about 6'3", a little bit over 6'3", and I know that he's 190 pounds. So he's going to be keeping the pressure on, and that's good though because a lot of teams don't have quarterbacks where you can have two good quarterbacks. Now, what do I expect from us? I mean, defensively, man, Diboll, the city of Diboll, they came out in the opening, man. What surprised me is that the Diboll, Lumberjacks, Bulldogs, whatever, Diboll was passing the football on us. They were actually making some plays, and I know that, for me, I would think that the defense would be ahead of the offense, but I tell you what, Diboll was moving that football. They were moving that football. Now, I'm telling you, first thing in the morning, I'm going to be making my rounds. I got an early start with somebody going over to Woodville to check out Luke Babin and the Woodville Eagles. And the first thing, I've already told them that Diboll was passing the football on us, so that's where I'm going to go. And I know I'm jumping off subject, but for all of you guys and girls out there in the 409, in the morning I'm going to be in Woodville. And then the next day I'm going to try to get over to Newton and check them out. And then I'm going to go down to Kirbyville. And we're going to make our rounds because we only got like a week or so before the season starts. But back to the Jasper Bulldogs. Defensively, I think that we're Coach Crumman is going to be in a pickle. Well, Coach Crumman and Coach Malcolm is the defensive coordinator. He's going to be in a pickle because the thing is, I know Major Armstrong started at cornerback last year, so it's going to be tough for him to play both ways, especially if he's trying to be the QB and then go over there. So I don't know. Like I said, the quarterback battle is still up there. There are so many positions that Coach Crumman only has a couple of weeks that he's going to have to fill in and figure out what he's going to do because they've got a hell of a game right off the bat. They've got Tyler Chapel Hill, and they are not coming to the big house. We're getting on the road, and we're going up to Tyler Chapel Hill. And Tyler Chapel Hill, they gave it to us really good last season, and we had some former players last year. Tyler Chapel Hill, man, they ran through us. So I look for the Jasper Bulldogs, me personally, and like I said, I'm not going to tell you I'm an expert because I'm a football person. So I'm going to tell you, me breaking it down from what I see, I think that the Jasper Bulldogs are going to have to score a lot of points to win. We're going to have to score a lot of points to win because we've got some young kids. I mean, I've seen some kids that played 8th grade football last year that are being a freshman that are on the varsity team. So if all of you people from Jasper, do not get caught up and do not get in my channel going crazy because I'm just giving you the truth. I'm giving you the truth about what's going to be happening because we have a hell of a schedule. We have probably the toughest schedule in the 409, one of the toughest schedules in high school football. You got the likes of, first off, you got the Carthage Bulldogs on the schedule. You're starting off with the Tyler Chapel Hill Bulldogs. That's enough. And then you come back and you play Palestine. And I remember last season sitting at the game with Palestine. If it wasn't for Coach Crumity, I consider that to be Coach Crumity's best game that I've seen Coach Crumity coach last year. That's just me. Because Coach Crumity, Palestine, Coach Crumity kept putting Big Kitty back there when we needed the fourth down. And Coach Crumity done what he had to do to get the job done. And so Palestine's going to be coming to us in the second game. And then after that, I think we're going on the road to Lumberton. And you never can tell what you get from the Lumberton Raiders. They're kind of up and down. One season they may be passing the ball, next season you can't never tell. So I know that from what I've seen, I'm sure Lumberton is going to be at least a formidable foe like Diboll. So Lumberton's a bigger school and they're going to have a hell of a lot more players. So that's going to be a challenge. And then after that, of course, you've got the Carthage Bulldogs. They are perennial champ. They are a dynasty. So we're going to have that. And then you've got the likes of Hampshire Finette and the Hampshire Finette Longhorns that we haven't beaten. Then, of course, you got the one of the biggest rivals in Texas high school football, the Jasper Bulldogs, traveling down to the West Orange Stark Mustangs. And the Mustangs sit atop of the division. So, man, we're going to have our hands full. And, of course, we've got Talkington and Shepherd. Now, I'm not going to whitewash and look over Talkington and Shepherd because last year Shepherd gave us a little battle there for a little bit until our size got the best of us. But we don't have that size to be going into this season with, to be dependent on. And, of course, we've got the battle. One of the oldest, and I'm serious. It's one of the oldest battles. And we haven't beat the Silsby Tigers. So I think that we go down to Silsby this time. And we haven't beat the Silsby Tigers in the last 2 years. So we have a season that's going to be tough on us. But I believe that Coach Crumity is going to have a plan. I hope that he does. I will tell you right now, from being just a football fan, Coach Crumity is going to have to do his best season of coaching this season. Because he doesn't have those All-American football players out there. He doesn't have, although his quarterback passed for a lot of yards last year and he broke the school record, and which for me doesn't really mean a lot, but what means a lot is his quarterback last season that started a couple of these seasons, but he's going to this season where he does a quarterback that hasn't taken a varsity snap well, I think Major played a snap or two, but they haven't thrown a pass in big time 4A football. So Coach Crumity and Coach Malcolm, they're definitely going to have to do their best work, especially Coach Crumity, man, because I think his record right now is like 20-16. But he's going to have, and I believe him, and I believe that Coach Crumity can get out there and put those kids in those right positions. And for the fans, we have to be patient, man, because things are not like they used to be. We don't have 15 kids that are going to be scholarship kids. He has a bunch of small kids, and he's going to be working with what he has. So you have to be patient, and hopefully Coach Crumity can put the kids in the right positions to get the job done. So let's just be patient, and remember my motto here at D9J Sports. It isn't where you start at, it's about where you finish at. That's it. So we're going to take our lumps and bruises, and for all you people out there, I know the quarterbacks are going to take their lumps and bruises, but it's a maturation process, and we need to stick with the plan. Whatever plan Coach Crumity has, that's the plan that the Jasper Bulldogs are going to have to stick with. Okay? So this is Alan with D9J Sports. And I'm telling you right now, we definitely need to make sure we stick with the plan. So let's support the Bulldogs in every way that we can. Let's support the volleyball team, because I know that the young ladies, they're out there playing. Okay? And before I go, this is the first time of the season that I'm going to do it. But I think, I think one of these days coming up before the season starts, I'm going to give a big time shout out. I'm going to do a show exclusively for the bus drivers all over the 409 and all over the country who travel up and down the highways on Friday nights with our kids, and they do a hell of a job, and they don't get the credit that they deserve. So this is Alan with D9J Sports. Just wanted to let you guys know what I think about the Bulldogs. I don't know if I'm going to do anything on the next scrimmage, but you know I will be front and center at the game in Tyler Chapel Hill, and we will do a build-up like last season all the way up, starting the week of the game. That's week after next. We will do a build-up all the way up to the game and get ready for the Bulldogs to start off the 2025 season here in the 409. This is Alan with D9J Sports. Evening Drive. I'm definitely out.